Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, and today we are going thrifting over a couple of days. I started out at Savers and the first thing that I found was actually amazing. It was a cast iron door knocker of this little dog sitting in his house. It was the cutest thing I have ever seen, but for $20 I had to leave it behind. I honestly really need to start drinking tea because there are just too many adorable teapots and cups here. For clothes, I started off in the skirt section and I found a few that I actually really liked. This one was a bit more 2010 style though, so I put it back. This wool tartan mini skirt was really interesting. It had these really big pockets on the sides. It definitely looked vintage from the tag as well. This was such a weird skirt. It was like a layered velour tracksuit material and it had a stretchy waistband. I can't imagine how you would style this unless it was 2006. There are a few skirts here that were really cute and feminine, like this floral mini. There was an Esprit denim mid-length skirt as well that I put in the cart. And this long flowy baby pink skirt. This store actually had quite a few vintage, or at least vintage looking pieces, like this 50s looking skirt from Revival, and there were a lot of things from the brand Princess Highway as well. At first I thought this was one of those mesh overlay skirts that I love, but it was like a weird thick woven material with no overlay on it at all. It did have bright red on the underside though, and a 90s looking tag. I figured I don't really have a basic black mini skirt that I could wear with more like simple basic outfits, so I put this one in the cart to try on. I also found a red tennis skirt from the brand American Apparel. I always find it so weird when I find American brands here because we've never had a store for them, so how did they end up here? I went through shoes next and there were a lot of really cool men's shoes, specifically these boots here. I showed them to Bo, but he said that he didn't need them, and it's like, well, yes, of course, you don't need them, but damn, they look cool. In the women's shoe section, it was like someone donated their entire collection of 90s Kitten heels. Every time I'd pick up a pair to show you guys, I would find another pair next to them, and most of them were from the brand Tony Bianco, which aren't cheap at all, and they all had these big buckles on top with a really tiny heel. The only ones that I would consider getting were the red ones that I showed, but because I have a pair of kitten heels that I barely wear as it is, I don't really want to get another pair. I then found these amazing heels here. Some of the leather was peeling off, but I feel like that's fixable if I took them to like a shoe person. What are they called again? I can never remember what they're called. I also put these red flats in the cart because I don't own any flats and I think they'd just be an easy, comfortable shoe to have around. Okay, onto dresses next. I don't know why I didn't even try this on, but looking back on it, I really love this dress. It was like a perfect 2000s office core piece. I loved it. I'm really not a fan of polka dots, but I think when the dots are really small like this, it's not so obvious. Again, I really like this vintage style of dress, so I put it in the cart. There was a similar dress in red too, but the dots were a bit too big for me, so I left it behind. It was also around this point that I noticed there was a lot of Dangerfield and Princess Highway pieces here today. A baddie has left us, I fear. Also checked out the coats, and this red corduroy one was really pretty, but I then got distracted by this black coat next to it. It had like a batwing collar on it that was so pretty and slightly gothic, but then I got distracted again by this beautiful knitted cardigan with a fur collar. I immediately purchased this. This was another perfect find for me, a 90s office siren button-up top. Oh, I was obsessed. I also saw this cheetah print blazer. It was a bit too big, but I would love to find something with this type of print on it. So that was all that I found at this store, so it was time to try everything on. I was super excited to see what these pieces looked like. Unfortunately, this dress was not it though. For some reason, the shoulders looked like they were built for an American football player, because what the fuck is this? The rest of the dress was very pretty though. Now, for this top, oh, I was in love with her. The little bow that ties up at the neck was so pretty. The skirt, not so much though. The pockets were a bit too much, I think. This skirt did fit, but it looked a little boxy and clunky, so I left it behind. I then tried on the shoes that I got. I thought this would be more like some Mary Janes, but they turned out to be more like grandma shoes. These red flats were perfect. They fit me so well, and I love the big silver buckle on them. Even though these shoes were a bit higher than I usually wear, I did get them because I just can't imagine letting these go. They're so perfect. We checked out, Bo also got a jumper, and now we are on to the next day of thrifting. We went to a different Savers this time, and straight off the bat, I saw this really weird, unique top. I thought I could at least try it on, even though I was very out of my comfort zone. There was this Gorillaz band shirt here as well, and the tag said it was from the brand Hot Rock. I've never heard of that. I do love this band, but the top was looking a little rough, so I left it behind. That was all that I found in the top section, unfortunately, so I looked through the shoes and accessories. I got so excited about this wall of tights here, but I realized that I had exactly the same ones as these, so I passed on them. There were these ones, on the other hand, that were really interesting. It was like a multicolored plaid tight, so I put them in the cart. I thought this red fur color was really interesting. I could definitely add it to one of my more basic black tops. This top definitely wasn't for me, but if it was a different colorway, then maybe I would have considered it. In the shoe section, I saw these vintage shoes. They looked like they were maybe for dancing in the 1950s or something. They were so cute. These were really cute, but they weren't my size. What a surprise. So I ended up putting them back. The top of this dress was really pretty and had hearts all over it, but the bottom half was giving like 2010s office wear and not in a good way. There were a few vintage dresses here as well that were actually really pretty, but the colors just weren't really what I was looking for. I really love this type of neckline on vintage pieces. It just looks so elegant. This faux fur coat was really interesting and unique. The sleeves and collar had this like waterfall type effect that I've never seen on a fur coat before. I've been looking for some plaid pants, preferably high-waisted and wide legs, so these were a bit too skinny for me, unfortunately. In the skirt aisle, there were some alternative looking skirts like this Killstar black pleated one, but I'm really looking for like full mini or full maxi skirts at the moment. I really love Fletcher Jones as a brand, so I obviously picked up this perfect A-line long skirt. It's so pretty in this neutral black-red colorway. This mini plaid skirt was from the brand The Ragged Priest, which is a pretty expensive brand. It's always really weird to see stuff like this just getting donated. I spotted this Y2K midi length skirt and just loved the way that the denim looked. It was so cool, so I obviously picked this up. If I can't find some wide leg, long plaid pants, I will settle for the short version, but these unfortunately were too big for me. Lastly, I checked out the homewares and found this adorable vintage like frame tree, I guess you could call it. Someone must have donated their unique cookie jar collection because firstly I found this one and then I also found this bulldog one. How practical actually are these though? I feel like you could fit 2 cookies in this because of the awkward shape of them. Anyway, I sorted through my cart and this fur collar was definitely not it. Looked really weird and I couldn't get the clasp undone, so I had to fit my head through it. I ended up leaving all of these. The tights were unfortunately footless, which is really not the vibe, but I did end up getting the 2 skirts. And then on the way home, we stopped at this little op shop and I found these perfect black heeled Mary Janes. I was so excited, and for $7, I could not pass these up. Overall, the last 2 days were a complete success, especially in the way of shoes, so I'm very, very happy. And that does bring us to the end of the thrift trip, so thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!